What's going on YouTube? Josh with Debt to Dollars here, and this is a video I've really been anticipating for some time now. As you guys know, for those of my subscribers here, I've been really focusing this channel on how to get started selling on Amazon, and a large portion of my subscriber base, are Amazon sellers or aspiring Amazon sellers. So what I decided to do today, instead of going into another detailed video about another Amazon selling topic, I want to take a step back and I want to put everything into one concise video series on how to get started selling on Amazon step by step. And in particular, we're going to be focusing on the Amazon FBA, which is Fulfillment by Amazon. So we're going to break this video series into 3 different parts. Part 1 is what we're going to be discussing today, and part 1 is going to be understanding why you want to get started on Amazon. That really should be the first question that you ask yourself. The second topic we're going to talk about in this video is how FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon, actually works, so you have a high level understanding the process and the benefit of using that program. And then lastly, in this video, we're going to touch the point of how to create your Amazon seller account and get your first Seller Central store account set up. All right, jumping right in, and before we get into the actual tutorial itself and creating your account, I want you to ask yourself the question, why are you getting started on Amazon? Now, are you getting started to sell on Amazon because of an existing product that you already sell at your store, your retail store possibly? Maybe you're an artist and you're creating paintings or some form of art that you want to sell. That is totally fine. But the reason why I don't want you to get started on Amazon is if you're doing it just for the money. If you're just trying to add an additional income stream and you have no desire or understanding of actually what you're doing, I'll be the first one to tell you that you're going to fail. Because it's happened to me plenty of times, and I've actually sold products or tried to sell products slowly to bring on an additional income stream. And it hasn't really worked out that greatly. But what's worked out really well for me is if I found something that I actually had some quote unquote passion towards, and I began selling that on Amazon, the success really follows yourself from there. So ask yourself that question immediately before you get started. Why are you doing this? 1, is it for the money? Or 2, is it for some type of passion, something that you really want to sell? And go for that route. And now once you've asked yourself that question, you understand why you want to get started selling on Amazon. You need to understand how FBA or Fulfillment by Amazon actually works. So there's 2 methods on how you can sell and become a merchant seller on Amazon. 1, again, is the Fulfillment by Amazon, and 2 is Fulfillment by Merchant. Now, Fulfillment by Amazon, basically what you do is you either create some type of product or you purchase some product at a wholesale value from a supplier. You send that product or those products to Amazon. Once Amazon receives those products, they begin to stick them in their inventory, and then as sales come in from potential customers, they'll go ahead, they'll package and ship your product for you for a small 20 to 25% fee per unit. This is a great program for those individuals who are trying to sell a larger quantity of products each month, and they don't necessarily have the logistics to package all those products, to ship them, to create them, and all that, and get them to the customer. Amazon FBA will also handle all of the customer service, so if there are any potential refunds, or if there's any customer complaints or questions, inquiries, they'll actually contact Amazon, and Amazon will answer those questions on your behalf. Some messages still may come to you, but a lot of the day-to-day operations is going to go right to Amazon, and it's going to bypass you and allow you to sit back and collect your profits. If you guys are looking for more detailed information, I'll put a video in the cards above that explains much more detail, about 6 minutes of a video, exactly how the FBA process works and how you get paid, as well as the associated fees that you'll be expected to pay. Okay, I'm glad we got that covered with. So let's go ahead and jump to the computer, and we'll go into the tutorial on how you can set up your first individual or Amazon seller account. Okay, let's get started here. The first thing that we need to do is we need to go to Amazon Seller Central. So go to Google, type in Amazon Seller Central, or you can access it by going to sellercentral.amazon.com. It'll be this first link here. So for those of you who don't know, Amazon Seller Central is the platform that Amazon uses for their merchants to log into, to access their inventory, to restock inventory, to advertise, and so forth. So it's really the dashboard that gives you access to all the seller account features. So what we'll do here is, since we want to create a new account, we'll go to this register now. And it's going to take you to the second page here to sign up. Now, before we click sign up, there are 2 different selling plans. So you can either 1, become an individual seller, or 2, you could become a professional seller. Now, the difference between the 2 is if you're someone looking to sell 10 to 20 units per month, a small amount of units, it's probably in your benefit to go with the individual seller plan, because you're not required to pay a reoccurring monthly fee. For the individual seller plan, you just pay 99 cents per item that you sell. For the professional seller plan, you are subjected to a reoccurring monthly charge of $39.99 per month. And that's on top of the additional selling fees that you're going to be seeing, regardless if you're an individual or professional seller plan. Again, we'll get into more of these fees, but just know that really the rule of thumb here is if you're going to be selling less than 40 units per month, go ahead and become an individual seller instead of the professional seller. And to do so, you'll come down here and it says just have a few items to sell and sign up to become an individual seller. Now I'm going to go through the professional seller since it seems like that's what the vast majority of people actually sign up to become, as well as myself, as I sell more than 40 units a month. It's definitely in your benefit to do so. So click sign up here, and if you're not already logged into your regular Amazon account that you use to actually purchase products, it's going to ask you to sign in. So what you can do here is you can create a new Amazon account, or you can use one of your existing Amazon accounts. Now I bet the vast majority of people will actually have their own Amazon account. So just type in your login information here, and then click next. All this is going to do is it's going to take your existing Amazon account, and then it's going to add the Seller Central account to that existing account. So in a sense, it's like a sub account or another account. And then it's going to ask you a couple questions to get your account set up. The first question here is going to ask you is the business location. So it really wants to know where your business is located, where you're located. So go ahead, type in your country, United States, United Kingdom, whatever it may be. And then it's going to ask you your business type. So is it state-owned business, publicly listed business, privately owned, charity, or none? I am an individual. So if you do have an existing business or you set one up specifically for selling on Amazon, you can go ahead and click one of these businesses. It will change some of the inputs down below, but for majority of people, I'd imagine you're just an individual and you're trying to sell some products for independently. So click that and then type in your name, middle name if you have one. Click agree and continue. So next it's going to ask us some information about ourselves. If you didn't select one of the business options, it's going to ask you information about yourself and your business. So make sure to fill all this out. All right, once you've had that information above, it's going to require you to put a phone number in for verification. They're going to send you a PIN, so make sure to type that PIN in here. Click verify. Wait for that to load, and then we're going to click next. Next, it's going to take us to the marketplaces. It's going to ask you, where do you want to sell your products? For me, I'm in the United States, and I really only want to sell to the North American market. I really try to avoid, especially as a beginner seller, shipping internationally or selling internationally. It's definitely not my area of expertise, but if you do have confidence that you can sell in the Japanese market here or the European market, you can check that box. So for me, I'm just going to check the box for North America. It does say here too, I guess there's a promotion going on right now that if you do pay the normal $39.99 per month fee to be a professional seller on Amazon, you'll have access to all three of these markets without any extra information needed or any extra fees. So if you're going to use the Amazon FBA, you really don't have a whole lot to lose. But again, I'm just going to stick to what I know. Click next. It's going to bring us to the billing tab. And so they're going to require you to input a credit card here. This credit card's for any fees that you may have to pay. So as you may have seen in some of my other videos, you don't always make money on Amazon. At some point, that $39.99, it has to come from somewhere. It can't just come from your sales. So you're going to be required to put a credit card in here. Okay, once we've set up our billing account, we added our credit card in there. We're going to click next, and that brings us to the store tab. This is your store information, and it's going to be publicly shown on all your listings. So whenever a potential customer goes to one of your listings, it's going to say sold by your store name, and if you're going to be using FBA and fulfilled by Amazon. So put something in here that really describes your brand well. If you do already have an existing business, you can use that, or you can create something new. Again, this store is just specifically to Amazon's marketplace. I'm going to do test store 1, 2, 3. Then it's going to ask you, do you have universal product codes, UPCs, for all your products? For those of you who don't know, UPCs are the barcode that go on the back of a packaging that helps a seller or a logistics provider understand some information about that product, where it came from, and other details. So you have to have a UPC, or if you're in the European market, an EAN on your products for all your products. And if you go to my listing video, which I'll put in the cards above, I'll go into where you can purchase those. at a discounted rate, and that way you don't have to go to actual GS1, who are the people who actually originate those codes. So we're going to say yes here. Nope, it's not available. Change the debt to dollars. We'll see if anybody has that. Okay, it's available. I'll click yes here. You don't have to purchase the UPCs at this point. You can do so after your store set up. So just because you put yes here, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have those on hand. All right, and the final question here, are you the manufacturer or brand owner or agent or representative of the brand for any products that you want to sell on Amazon? I'd say yes for the majority of people, mainly because you're going to be the brand owner. So especially if you are an independent store and you create your own products, you are going to be the brand owner. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a trademarked brand or product at this point, but Amazon wants to know if you're going into selling on Amazon with the intention of the brand owner. Okay, and another question pops up. It says, do you own a government registered trademark for the brand and products you want to sell on Amazon? This is going to vary, person by person. If you already have a product that's trademarked, click yes. If not, select no. Okay, and the last one is going to be your verification step. So go ahead and scroll down through your identity verification, make sure that everything looks correct. And Amazon is going to ask you to provide an identity document. So whether you selected your driver's license or passport, you're going to have to upload an image just proving that you are who you say you are. Additionally, you're going to provide an additional document for your bank account. And all you got to do is just download a statement from your bank account and provide it here. Now, once you've gone ahead and you've completed that, go to submit. And then at this point, you are now an Amazon seller. I appreciate you guys watching today. At this point, you now have an Amazon selling account and you can get started. So part 2 of this video is mainly going to be focused for wholesale Amazon sellers. For those individuals that want to go to a supplier, typically overseas, and get a cheaper product at a wholesale value and then resell in the United States market or United Kingdom or wherever you may be. That is going to be part 2 of this video. Part 2 is going to cover how to research a product to sell. We're going to determine if that product is actually going to be profitable, and we're going to understand the existing competition. That way we can ensure your success. The last 2 things we'll cover in that part 2 video is to how to find a supplier to manufacture your product or to purchase the product that's already existing. And we're going to finish off with actually purchasing that product and have it shipped to your location and then eventually to Amazon FBA. So stay tuned for that video. It'll be coming out in about a week's time. But until then, there are plenty of videos on my channel right now. I even have my own playlist on how to get started selling on Amazon. So all the content's there. This video is just really how to go from A to Z for those individuals that want a quick and concise answer. All right, guys, we'll catch you all next time.